Yo, what's going on, everybody? You are watching Vikings Now by Chat Sports. My name is Patrick Siepman, here giving you guys my Overreaction Monday video. We're going to talk about the Vikings-Eagles game yesterday, but mainly I want to focus in on the quarterback position and why the Vikings process this offseason, not only just letting Sam Darnold, letting Daniel Jones walk, but them not valuing a backup quarterback this entire offseason has really came back and bitten them in the ass so far this year. And also, I do want to quickly apologize. If you guys were watching our watch party yesterday or the post-game reaction video, you guys obviously probably know I don't have a voice, so that's why I'm not in the office today, but I still want to power through this and just give you guys my thoughts because, I am still a Vikings sicko, and there's a lot I want to say about this team, mainly about the quarterback position. So I appreciate you guys for tuning in, taking time out of your day. Make sure you guys do hit that thumbs up icon and also subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't already. And also bear with me with my voice throughout the next 12 to 15 minutes. But let's talk about the backup quarterback or the quarterback position. And we're going to mainly talk about here Carson Wentz. I really think it would be an absolute crime if he plays another game for the Minnesota Vikings. And this isn't even a J.J. McCarthy conversation because obviously you guys know, if you've been watching the channel, I am a huge J.J. McCarthy guy. I'm a believer in him. I still am a believer in him, even though the injuries have obviously, given me some doubts on that, but I'm still a believer in who he is and the type of prospect and the type of player he is that he'll eventually work out. But there is no reason to not play J.J. this Thursday. Even if he is at 80, 85%, you play him. It is the National Football League. I understand it's a tough spot. You're on the road, taking on the Chargers. I totally understand that. But you're going to play tough games in the NFL no matter what. You can't just wait for that home game, against the Panthers, against the Saints. That's not the league you play in. Especially that's not the division you play in. Because then you're just going to throw them in week 9 against the Lions? That's also another tough spot. Then you got the Ravens at home. And you still got the Packers 2 more times. You still got the Bears. There is no easy game for the Vikings to just throw J.J. McCarthy into. So if he is 85, 90% healthy, there is no excuse that he shouldn't be out there. But even if J.J., let's play in the Mr. Kevin O'Connell's hypothetical here, where he doesn't want to throw him out there if he's not 100% healthy. You go to Max Brosmer. I understand he is a UDFA. But what you have in Carson Wentz, you will never win a big-time game with him. You will never sniff a playoff win with Carson Wentz as your starting quarterback. And I feel like you're just almost wasting this, precious time where you could be finding out. What if Max Brosmer is a damn good quarterback? That's on the table. We just saw Brock Purdy, last pick in the draft. Now Max Brosmer, UDFA. I'm not saying he could be, Brock Purdy, take you to a Super Bowl, but anything is on the table. And even if you find out Brosmer's not that guy, he can't be a starting caliber quarterback, you at least have to get the answer to that question. So I was honestly kind of stunned that KOC, and maybe we'll get more updates throughout the week, but I will say I will be stunned if Carson Wentz is out there on Thursday. I would be incredibly disappointed. And I also want to tie this back into, this offseason. Not valuing the backup quarterback position was a complete joke. I understand most of the time when your starting quarterback gets hurt, the season's just a throwaway regardless. But you, as where this team was, where you were, first off, letting a guy like Sam Darnold walk out the door, who was healthy all of last year, threw for 35 touchdowns, won you 14 games, you just let him go. So you're turning it over to a 22-year-old in J.J. McCarthy who missed his whole first year with a torn meniscus, and you don't think it was any valuable to get a high-end backup quarterback. What the hell are we thinking? I mean, you brought in Sam Howell. You traded for Sam Howell, and then you traded him again to bring in Carson Wentz. Why didn't you go out and sign Joe Flacco? Oh, Patrick, the comp picks. You got to get that 4th-round comp pick. Comp pick my ass. I don't care at all about that. Just the process of, okay, we have a young quarterback in J.J. McCarthy. Why not just go get, even just for the locker room value, Jacoby Brissett? He's playing good football the last 2 weeks. We just saw 40-year-old Joe Flacco dice up the Steelers' defense this Thursday night, where Carson Wentz, for a majority of that game against the Steelers, was pissing down his leg. Wentz was truly that bad yesterday, and Also, I think we can officially say clearly letting Sam Darnold and Daniel Jones walk was a massive mistake. And I don't know if this was an ego thing with Kevin O'Connell, because this whole offseason, and listen, I fell victim to this too. I'm not saying like I wasn't saying this exact same thing, but saying, oh, anybody can play quarterback, for the Minnesota Vikings and KOC. That's a terrible take I had, and I take it back. But clearly letting those two guys walk was a massive mistake. And I'm just going to be honest. If J.J. McCarthy doesn't work out, KOC and Kwesi should be fired. Like, even Kevin O'Connell. Because it's not only like you're struggling at the quarterback position. Daniel Jones is 6-1. Daniel Jones, he's got the best offense in the league. Highest yards per play. Highest yards highest yards on first down. Highest yards on second down. You go look at every deep analytic for the Indianapolis Colts. They are number one offensively. And then also Sam Darnold. The guy's looking better than he did last year. He is throwing seeds in Seattle. He has a great relationship with JSN. I mean, he looks fantastic. And KOC, like, and I know what you guys are going to say. Oh, well, Patrick, if we brought back Sam Darnold, we wouldn't have been able to have this huge free agency. What the hell has our free agency led to? Javon Hargrave, Jonathan Allen had a good game yesterday. Majority of the season, he's been terrible. Will Fries, Ryan Kelly, those 4 big pickups, terrible. It's just a waste of money. And now you're screwed for next year's free agency. And what is so concerning about long-term with the Vikings is if JJ doesn't develop really fast, we're going to be stuck in purgatory for a while. Because I still think this team, like, you will never be bad enough to draft in the top 5 because for some reason this Vikings organization, they just love at least winning 6-7 games every year. But also, your roster's not going to be nearly as good enough to go and win playoff games. It is just concerning. And one more thing about Kevin O'Connell, and I don't know if this is like an ego thing with him, but how did he not want to bring Darnold back? Like, why was he so okay with just letting him go? Because that makes me think like Kwesi came up to him this offseason and was like, hey, we're going to offer Darnold, this deal. Are you cool with that? Do you think he's worth that? And he probably said no. Because also he probably told his buddy Tom Brady with the Raiders, don't go after Darnold, go after Geno Smith. That's looking bad. I'm just shocked by this. And I still think my biggest takeaway from yesterday, why didn't you get a better backup quarterback? Or also, you look at the Green Bay Packers. Why didn't you just rest JJ one more year? Like, clearly you didn't think he was ready. F it, I would have brought in Aaron Rodgers. Have him play for one more year. JJ, you're cool. You're 22 years old. We're in no rush here. We have a win now roster. Go take advantage of it. And also this, yesterday, Eagles had one of the worst running defenses coming into the league. And it's another big game at home, and you can't run the football. That's on freaking Kevin O'Connell, guys. It is incredible year in, year out. When we have these big-time moments, these big-time games, and especially when you have shaky quarterback play, like Carson Wentz, you got to be able to run the ball. And the Vikings haven't been able to do that. Like, you have 4 of your 5 starting offensive linemen in there. You have Christian Darrisaw, one of the best left tackles. Brian O'Neill, a guy you spent a first-round pick on, and Donovan Jackson, a guy you gave $88 million to in Will Fries. In my opinion, one of the most slept-on running backs in the league in Jordan Mason, and you can't consistently run the ball yet again at home. I think he's becoming a little overrated, and I will take full blame for maybe overrating him myself. It's just incredibly disappointing. Like, that's the performance you had at home off a bye. Your quarterback, you're just given the full Carson Wentz experience. Like, you can't run the football. Your defense just wasn't good enough. And then also this, you know what is so sad about the Vikings franchise? They have 3 playoff wins in the last 19 seasons. 3 playoff wins in the last 19 seasons. And I'm assuming we're not going to win a playoff game this year, at least just how it's looking right now. So we're going to have 3 playoff wins in the last 20 years. You know how sad that is? And it almost feels like this Vikings team, like the way people talk about them, oh, they're a well-run organization. top to bottom, like, oh, the NFLPA report card come out every year. Oh, they're number one in everything. Who gives a fuck? You're not winning playoff games. 3 playoff wins in the last 20 seasons after this year. It's pathetic. It truly is pathetic. Obviously, I'm salty right now. Now, I do want to say one thing. People freaking out about the defense. I really don't have a problem with the defense yesterday. You gave up a couple big-time plays, but I think those big-time plays were more of a you gotta tip your cap. Jalen Hurts was awesome. That was probably the best game I've ever seen him play. Devontae Smith, A.J. Brown, like those guys are studs. Those guys are Super Bowl champions. They have championship pedigree. Now, the one thing from the defense, I'm so sick and tired of pressures. We got to get home to the quarterback. I mean, Dallas Turner, you got to get more from him. Like, you really think about Kwesi's drafts. If J.J. and Dallas Turner don't work out, he should be gone this offseason. He's not terrible, but he's not a first-round pick. He looks like a third-round pick. And you spent a lot of draft capital to go get him. And he was also excited about drafting Dallas Turner. I remember that clip of him in the boardroom when he was just like, we're going to go get our guy. He hasn't done shit. And he's also had an opportunity now with Andrew Van Ginkel out. So it's just incredibly, incredibly disappointing. But, overall, obviously the season's not over. We still got a long way to go. And you just can't go back to Wentz. And, again, like I said at the top of the show, this is not a J.J. McCarthy conversation. This is just a Carson Wentz is that freaking bad conversation. And always find out what you have in Brosmer. Like, what do you have to lose? You're not winning anything with Wentz. Might as well find out if you have a guy. So just turn it over to one of the young kids. But it all stems back to this offseason. The moves they made. I mean, you let a guy, and I was in the camp of letting Darnold go. I was an idiot for that take. I mean, I think it looks like a massive mistake right now. He threw for 35 touchdowns. Jefferson had 1,500 yards. You won 14 freaking football games. And you lost to 2 good football teams. That's it. You lost to the Lions and the Rams. That's it. 2 really good teams. 2 great coaching staffs at the time. It's just not good. It's a very depressing feeling today. So, listen, I do want to say thank you guys, though, for tuning in. Sorry about my voice. Hopefully I'll be back in the office tomorrow, and we'll be live this Thursday for the Chargers game. So that's going to be a lot of fun. So we'll do that. But I do just want to say thank you guys so much for all the support as of lately. Again, sorry about the voice. I know it's probably annoying to listen to, but still want to get you guys my thoughts on that. So we'll get on out of here, and we'll see you guys next time. As always, let's go Vikes.